And good morning. Here we are in Palo Alto, California for a rematch between the Watsonville Aggies, the #1 seed from the B bracket, and the Oakland Vipers, who were the #3 seed. This is the second game of an elimination tournament. Both teams won their first matchup as the Vipers bested their opponent 11-1. And so now they faced a grudge match versus Watsonville. These two teams squared off yesterday. The Aggies came out on top, 5-2. Great pitching featured by all. Etta Lauti leads off for the Oakland Vipers. Ball high, 2-0. Etta started off her tournament yesterday getting on base at a high clip. Every time you turned around, she was on base, either a single, a double, a triple, or even laying down a bunt and hustling it out to first base. Etta's really helped the team get off to a good start, 3-0. The Vipers definitely want to get off to a good start here today. They want to plant some doubt in the minds of the Aggies that today is a new day. Yesterday they prevailed 5-2, but today the Vipers hope to show that today is different, and so they want to put some runs on the board in the first inning, if at all possible. She winds up, ball 4. There's a protest down to the first base umpire, who questions whether or not she checked her swing. Says he did. It's confirmed. He acknowledges the protest, but establishes a protocol for how those types of protests are going to be handled. This umpire is taking charge from the very beginning. So the Vipers start off well. They've got Etta on first base, and Etta, as you know, has great speed. So we'll see if Coach Klein puts her in motion from the very beginning. You don't want to make the first out on the bases, though, so he's unlikely to send her. There's the strike, the outside part of the plate. Let's take a look at that. Notice the location of that pitch, more towards the outer half, about waist high. And that's what Irwin takes a look at it for strike 1. She digs back in, and her job is to move that runner across. Let's see if she can execute. The ball hit to the gap in shortstop. It's hit hard enough so that shortstop bobbles the ball a little bit. And with Mesker Irwin's speed and Etta Lauti's speed, there's just no way you're going to get those kinds of runners with that kind of speed unless you handle it cleanly. The Vipers desperately want to get something on the board here in the top of the first inning to send a clear message to their fans and to the opponents that today is going to be a different day. They've got runners on first and second with nobody out, and up steps Marianne Tanner. Pitch. There's a hard hit ball down the third base line. It's fair. Coach Klein is waving him around. There's one runner in the score. Etta Lauti comes in. Vipers take an early lead 1-0. Let's take a look at that again. You can see that it just goes past the outstretched hand of the third basewoman, down the third base line. Left fielder fields it cleanly and quickly gets into third base to minimize the damage. But the Vipers have struck first here. It's 1-0 for a huge first run across the board. Now up steps Weaver. Weaver hasn't had a hit all tournament. She's one of the Vipers' stronger hitters, but she struggled yesterday. Now, earlier today in this morning's game, she hit a couple of balls very, very hard, and Coach Klein, he thinks that she may be on to something here. And this lineup desperately needs a dose of power. Outside. Ball 1. So here we go with no outs. Runners on first and second. Good speed on the bases with Tanner and Mesker Irwin. Strike. If we could take a look at that again. This pitcher is really hitting her spots. Look at that, right on the outside corner of the space. That is a filthy pitch. 1-1 count. No outs. Runners at first and second. With Mesker Irwin's speed, a good base hit here will drive in a run and stretch the lead potentially to 2-0. The Vipers desperately want to get off to a good start today. There's a deep drive to left center field to the warning track. Around third base comes Mesker Irwin, and here comes Tanner right behind her. Marcus Weaver scoring the third, and the slide, the relay, safe! She slides in for a triple. Wow, what a play. Let's take a look at that again. What a big hit. That gets the Vipers off to a good start, stretches the lead to 3-0 with a runner on third with no outs. They have the makings of a monster rally. There's the pitch. She turns on it, and the ball just explodes off her bat towards the outfield barrier. With Tanner's speed and with Mesker Irwin's speed, really once it gets past the outfielder, they've got no shot at those runners. The question is, can they limit Weaver to 2? And you see the relay right in rhythm. She turns, fires it in there, and it's at the same time as Weaver, who just slides underneath the tag. Safe with a triple. Welcome back, Margaret Weaver. And now we've got Aaliyah Bowers. Number 41's been hot all weekend. She had a couple of huge hits yesterday. Drove in a few RBIs, and it looks like already the Aggies are making a change. They've decided that enough is enough. Down 3-0 in the first inning of an elimination game. They just can't afford to get any further behind. And with this Vipers offense, you just can't take any chances. They've brought in their ace pitcher now to face Leah Bowers, and her job is very clear: get that runner home. Here's your first pitch. Outside corner, a dart, strike one. This pitcher's speed is a little more than the last pitcher, but her accuracy looks just. Bauer's job is to get that ball on the right side of the infield for a chance for Weaver to score, or a pop-up to mid to deep outfield so that Weaver can tag up. Let's see if their base running is up to par, if they can execute. And there it is, on cue. There's a drive to center field. Weaver does go back to tag. Center fielder makes the catch. Here comes Weaver hustling down the line, and the throw, she slides, safe! That's good base running. And up comes Dale Healy. Let's not forget, this is a clip of yesterday with Dale Healy. This is what happened yesterday. So that was Dale yesterday, and up she steps. And believe me, that's what's in the mind of these Aggies coaches. They've seen other pitchers taste Healy's power, as she blasted a rocket to left field. And now she steps in against number 7. Strike one. She's going right after her. We thought maybe she'd nibble given Dale's reputation, but she went right after with that first pitch. Swing and miss, strike 2. Ball 1. 1 and 2. She looks down to Coach Klein for the sign, and Coach Klein said, listen, the bases are empty. You got the bat in your hand. The sign is to go hit. Foul ball. She's just out in front of that pitch a little bit, and a little underneath it. She fouls it off. Still 1 and 2 with 1 out. Strike 3, swing and a miss. Dell is out, and up comes CPC, Camille Pratt Chapman. You can see the Dell's just a little bit underneath that pitch. She's been working on getting her lower half started and timed with the windup of the pitcher. And this pitcher's windup is shorter than normal, and so hitters are going to have to adjust. Yes, she did. Yes, she went around, strike 1. She's unable to check her swing. She looks down at Coach Klein, who gives her the sign. She taps her helmet and digs back in. Strike 2. Right down the middle. This pitcher's not messing around. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Let's take a look at that. She's a little bit underneath it and a little bit late. But the Vipers strike first. They put a big 4 spot up in the top of the first, and here come the Aggies. The question is, against this powerful offense, with a great pitcher on the mound for the Aggies now, can the Vipers hold the lead? Strike 1. Pitching for the Vipers, towing the rubber, is Sophia Rayco. Camille Pratt-Chapman behind the plate. Dale Healy at first base. Georgia Hinkie at second. Etta Lauti at short. Amara McAvoy at third. There's a ball. Center field left to right, you have foul ball. Left to right, you have Mesker Irwin, you have Tanner, and you have Weaver in the outfield. Ball seemed to have slipped out of Rayco's hand. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs. Both of these teams are very competitive. You hear the cheering that's going on with the Aggies. They're loud and proud, and they have no qualms about telling the Vipers exactly what they think about the situation, the pitcher, etc. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Ball 4, she takes her base. There is a psychological and emotional component to softball. These cheers that the teams are doing are intended to throw off and to test the mental fortitude of their opponent. And so they're trying to get under Rayco's skin. Let's see if they are successful. Here's the second batter. She squares the bunt, fouls it off. Ball 1. I'm sorry, strike 1. Squares again, pulls it back. The runner takes off for second base on the pass ball. Now you have a runner at second with nobody out. Now the Vipers have been staked to a 4-0 lead, but they don't want to rest on their laurels. This team, the Aggies, is known for their explosive offense, and so the question is, will they be able to hold this lead and then build on it? There's a ball. Coach Klein encourages his pitcher. The scoreboard is reading 2-1. Squares again and pulls it back. Ball 3. Pratt-Chapman gives the outside target. She scoots outside. The ball drifts back inside, but still gets enough of the plate for a strike. And we're looking at the 3-2 pitch right here. Runner in scoring position at second base. Runners have not been running on the Vipers catchers this early season. Ball 4 a little high and outside. She gets a free base. The Vipers catchers are quickly developing a reputation for guarding the bases. And that significantly helps the defense and specifically the pitcher to limit the amount of damage that's done when a free pass is issued. Teams tend to go station to station against the Vipers. Up steps number 7. Runner goes on a pass ball. Both runners advance. Now we've got runners at second and third with no one out. A little outside. Ball 2. Tensions are admittedly a little high for this game. These teams are both very competitive. Their fans are competitive. The players are competitive. And so, being an elimination game, the stakes are just pretty high. A little high. Ball 3. And with the Vipers jumping out to a 4-0 lead, I think the Aggies fans, their nerves are frayed a little bit as they didn't expect this. Strike 1. There's the windup by Reiko. Right down the middle of the plate. She must have been taking all the way. In that situation, it wouldn't surprise us if the coach gave her the take sign. Ball 4. And there's some people on the Viper side who are taking a little bit of exception to the kind of cheering that's happening with the Aggies. And I think Coach Klein is going out to settle down his pitcher. That type of cheering, that type of spirit oftentimes can disrupt a team and a pitcher. And so they're going to have to either rise to the challenge and return in kind, or do something to ensure they're mentally prepared to handle it. The best way to respond usually is to play well. That usually quiets down a crowd, and also to respond in kind. Here's one of the top hitters for the Aggies. With bases loaded, no outs. Let's see what happens. Ball 1 is a pass ball. Runner slides down third base line. Safe. She slides in ahead of the throw. You see Camille, as the ball scoots away, she quickly goes after it, and that runner instantly dashes down the third base line. Reiko covers, and as Camille tosses the ball, she slides underneath the tag. The ball actually hits her in the helmet and bounces off. So the timing of the play was very, very close, but the runner slid in ahead. Four to 1. Runner still at second and third. Nobody out. And while that was a difficult play, the reality is with bases loaded, nobody's out, you'd expect one run to score. The question is how many will come in, and will the Aggies be able to get back in this game? Up steps there, by the numbers, their second best hitter. She hit a home run yesterday over towards left field. She's been swinging a hot bat all tournament. Here she is with runners at second and third. No outs. The ball hit the right field and falls just inside fair territory. Weaver goes over, scoops it up, throws it in, and by that point, all runners are safe. And number 8 slides in for a hug me triple. The ball just barely dipped inside the third base line. There's really nothing anyone can do. It just happens sometimes. And Lady Luck was smiling on her, and she was able to get that ball to drop just inside fair territory. Now here comes their big hitter. Number 11 hit 2 home runs yesterday, and in the early morning game was more of the same. She's just a dominant hitter. Not the tallest player, the biggest player, but she swings a big stick. You can go toe-to-toe with any of the hitters on the Vipers. That first ball was in the dirt. It could be that the Vipers may have to consider making a change here, because it seems as though the defense is a little rattled and Reiko was kind of in and out of the strike zone. Ball 1. There's ball 2 outside. Foul ball. Her job is to get that runner in. A very similar situation to what the Vipers faced when Bowers was up. They've scored 3, they need a 4th, but they need a hit with less than 2 outs. And there it is, there's a ground ball. Lauti goes to first base for the out, but the runner does score. That's good softball, folks. Defense did what they were supposed to do. Good base running, produced a run for the Watsonville Aggies. So that big lead the Vipers jumped out to, the Watsonville Aggies have essentially erased it. And they've said, we see your 4 spot, we'll raise you a 4 spot. And remember, there's only 1 out. This inning is still going. The Vipers desperately need to get out of this inning before any damage is done. It would be deflating for them. Ball 1. After scoring 4 in the top of the first, to come out of the first inning down by any margin. So hopefully, and there's Camille, who goes out to settle down her pitcher and talk with her, which is good. That's the catcher-pitcher relationship right there. The catcher is tuned into the pitcher and sees what's going on, both in terms of how the pitcher is handling the situation, what the batter is doing, how the umpire is calling pitches, and she should be in constant communication with the pitcher. Clean slate. It's just like a 0-0 game that scores 4-4 with 1 out. Reiko pitches. There's another ball. Wind up in the pitch. There's a drive to center field. Tanner scoops it up, throws it to Lauti, who gives it back to Reiko. We've got timeout being called. And here comes Coach Klein. Brings in Mesker Irwin from left field. I believe he's going to do a switch here and have Reiko stay in the game, but go to left field, while Mesker Irwin is going to come in relief. This is an elimination game. So in these type of situations, the pitching staff has to work together. When one pitcher's having a tough time, another is brought in quickly. You saw it happen in the first inning with Watsonville, as they made a change and the Vipers were able to get one more. You see Camille Pratt-Chapman wiping off the play. These two go back. CPC and Mesker Irwin go back a ways. And so she's trying to take care of her pitcher. She talks to her. She wipes off the plate for her. Catchers want to make sure things are just right. The team is encouraging Reiko to keep her head in the game. They're going to need her, both her bat and her glove, as this game progresses. But they've decided to go with Mesker Irwin for now. Situations, we've got a runner on first base with 1 out. First pitch. Foul ball, strike 1.
Catch it next time. Hey, catch it next time. Catch it next time.
I tried.
The umpire's having a little bit of fun with the parents.
I was like, okay. Yeah. Can you give me like, I'll go with the hip boots.
Ball one. The runner's coming down to second base on a pass ball. Camille Chapman picks it up and throws her out at second base. Oh my goodness, what a play. You've got to see this again. The timing of this play, you see her with her arm cocked back. The runner takes off because the ball hit the dirt, but not appreciating Pratt Chapman's arm. She takes off for second, and the ball is there. Look at that. Ahead of the runner, Lauti grabs it, drops the tag, and it's called out. That is a huge play. You want to talk about a momentum shifter. Just when it looked like Watsonville could just run away with this thing, they run themselves right out of a big inning because they challenged CPC. There's a ball. Wow, what a play. The question was, would Vipers be able to hold them off? That helps immensely to stem the bleeding and breathe some life into this Vipers team and crowd. There's the ball. They have a tendency of yelling out the number of balls again and again and again to try to get under the pitcher's skin, so they have to be mentally tough to deal with this. There's a ball hit to left field. And listen, if Camille does not throw out that runner, that's a run. The way these coaches aggressively coach third base, at the very least, you've got to play at the plate, likely scoring a run with that fast of a runner. So she effectively saved her team a run right there. Or you could also say that the base runner cost her team a run. Wow, what a big play. What a big play. Runners on first. There's a ball hit to second base. Georgia charges the ball, scoops it to first base for an out. You know, that's actually a very interesting play. That third out of the inning, Georgia had to avoid the runner. She charged it. Coach Klein teaches the fielders to always be charging. ABC, he calls it. So there you see Georgia charging it. She avoids the runner by charging hard and getting in front of the runner. If she stays behind the runner, she doesn't get there in time. But by the fact that she got in front of the runner, she's able to scoop it and just in time flip it to Healy for third out of the inning. Wow, what a big play. It seems so small, but those kinds of plays, especially at second base, where you have those type of coordination type plays, make a huge difference. And after one full inning of play, score is 4-4. Top of the second, up steps McAvoy. She taps her head and lets Klein know that she has the signal. Reaches the bunt. Unable to put it down. Counts as strike one. McAvoy's hitting has greatly improved. Her offseason work was tremendous, and because of that, Coach Klein is showing tremendous confidence in her. And there's a ball hit sharply to shortstop. It's a speed play, and she just outraces it. Wow, what an effort at first base. She just outraced her. There's nothing there that was done wrong. It's just her speed. But I think the first baseman is down. She really stretched out for that. We could see it again, but I mean, she gave everything she had in stretching out for that play. With McAvoy's speed coming down the line, let's take a look at what she did. McAvoy is clearly safe. There's the stretch. Wow. She holds herself up with her right hand, but she's doing the splits. Fully committed to making the play. The coaching staff comes out to check on her to see if she's okay. There's a hush over the crowd. We've got a 4-4 game here, but player safety always comes first.
All right, let's go.
They've checked on her. They've agreed that she's okay, and she's agreed to stay in the game. So kudos to the first basewoman for showing that toughness. And here comes Tom Sack.
1-6, you're all right, huh?
Coach Klein noted that he's seen Cecilia practicing her hitting between days, between Saturday and Sunday. He said he noted that on social media there were videos posted of her hitting in her backyard. So he loves that kind of work ethic. Kids who go the extra mile. And Tom Sack is letting him know, Coach, I want in. Ball's a little high. No outs.
Trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
There's Coach Klein giving the sign. Tom Sack taps her helmet to recognize it, to acknowledge it. And here's the 1-0 pitch. Foul ball. She tried to get that bunt down, but just wasn't able to get it in play. You've got McAvoy on first base. So Klein wants to get her in scoring position. And her job, with no outs, is to move that runner over. He's giving her the sign again. 1-1 count. Very clear. You got to get that runner to second base in scoring position in a tight game. There's another strike. At this point, let's take a look at that pitch first. There it is again, outside corner. At this point, with 2 strikes, he's not going to have her bunt. So she's going to have to put it in play and get that runner over. 1-2 pitch. High, ball 2. This catcher is a phenomenal athlete. She springs up on her legs quickly and has every intention of throwing behind those runners if they're not being alert. Let's see if Tom Sack can get these runners over. As McAvoy stands at first base with nobody out. There's a ball hit the shortstop. She makes a nice catch. Throws back to first base. McAvoy dives back just in time. Good base running by McAvoy. Oftentimes runners will take off as soon as the ball's hit, not realizing that they've got to make sure it's caught, it gets past that fielder first. Here steps Reiko. Gets the sign from Klein. Let's see if she can execute. Somebody's got to get that runner over with from first base. McAvoy's got to get to second. Sophia steps up. She tries to lay the bunt sign down, as Klein now has tried with 2 different batters to get that runner over, and he's tried to bunt twice. It hasn't quite worked out that way. So what's he going to do? Is he going to stick with the bunt sign here? He's going to have her swing away. Something's got to give, and we got to get that runner to second base, and he's hoping that Reiko can do it. She does not squirt a bunt. She looks to hit away and takes ball 1. I think it may be that Klein has decided, you know what, at this stage of the season, we just need to get their runner over, and if they can't execute the bunt just yet, let's wait on that. But for now, swing away, try to move that runner over. Ball 2. She takes another look at Klein, gives her the sign, claps his hands and says, let's go, kid. Reiko steps back in. Inside, ball 3.
Battle. Let's go, 9-9.
3-1 with 1 out. 4-4 game. Strike 2. On the outside corner. I think our video crew gave us the same look 3 different times. We get the point, strike 2. Here's Reiko now down to with 2 strikes. Let's see if she can get that runner over. There's a ball hit to the right side. It gets past the second basewoman, and Reiko delivers. What a big hit! That puts runners in. That puts Amar McAvoy in scoring position. Huge play. Huge play to be able to execute like that in a tight game. The Vipers have flipped the lineup over. Now here comes Etta. Gets a sign from Coach Klein. I'm not sure what the sign is, but with 1 out, I would imagine that he's now looking for a base hit. McAvoy's got speed at second base. Strike 1. The Vipers are trying to match the Aggies' intensity in the dugout, and it's actually making a difference. You can see The Aggies are a little bit unsettled.
Let's go 2-3.
Nothing to worry about yet, but this is a seesaw battle is basically what it is. She lays down the bunt. It's thrown out at first base. Runners both move up to second and third. Now, I don't know if Klein gave her the sign to bunt for a sacrifice or if she was actually trying to bunt for a base hit. Not sure. Either way, you've got 2 outs. Runners at second and third. 4-4. Elimination game. And Mesker Irwin up. There's timeout. The Watsonville coaches are making an adjustment. Mesker Irwin goes to check in with Klein. This is a big moment in this game. So at first, McAvoy hustling out that base hit, beating out the throw, and then secondly, Tom Sack being unable to get the bunt down, but then Rayco delivering and moving that runner to second base.
Thought they changed the rule and the flex gets the bat.
And Etta pushing the second and third. There's some questions about the flex rule. The DP flex in softball, the flex player can field but not hit. DP can hit but not field, or it can be moved around. And so there were some questions about how Coach Klein is using his players. One thing about Klein is he's an experienced coach. Foul ball, strike one. He coaches at Piedmont High School and also has coached travel ball for years. So if anybody knows the rule, it's him. And it seems like the umpire and the other coaches just have to catch up a little bit. But here's the big moment. No balls, 1 strike. Runners at second and third with 2 outs. Tie game. Semifinals. There's a drive down the right field line. It's fair.
Come on now. Come on.
McAvoy scores. And Rayco glides in to score to take a 6-4 lead. Vipers are up. What a big hit that was. Talk about delivering in the clutch. Mesker Irwin down the first base line.
I got number 6 off the bench for the pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Good job.
They're continuing to shuffle their lineup. He's got pinch runners going. Now Leah Bell comes in to run for Mesker Irwin. Leah Bell is one of his rabbits. He's got 4 or 5 rabbits on his team who just have the quickest feet you've ever seen. And so he knows that a good base hit not only gets her to third base, but may even be able to score. You've got Weaver on deck, who's already laced a triple in this game. And so they've got to face Tanner. And this pitcher is not scared of any batter. So we can imagine that we're in line for another big moment here. Let's see. First pitch swinging. Shortstop gets it, throws it to first base. Got her at first base. But the Vipers pick up 2. And they're now up 6-4. Mesker Irwin is still pitching for the Vipers. Coach Klein is letting his players know exactly what the pattern is for this batter. Said she came up the middle 2 times against them yesterday, so they're shifting their defense accordingly. Ball 1. Now, the first time the Vipers scored, they dropped the 4 spot on the Aggies. The Aggies came right back and scored 4. This time, the Vipers have put up 2. Ball 2. For a 6-4 lead. And the Aggies are thinking the same thing. Hey, let's get those runs back. Ball 3. With every ball, the Aggies bench gets louder and louder. There's a 4-pitch walk. The leadoff batter. Never a good sign. Interesting. Pratt Chapman goes out to talk to the pitcher, and she also, let's take a look. She's coming over the dugout. She She reaches down and grabs. You know what? She just grabbed, looks like weeds or plants away from the coach. What people didn't see was that those weeds were blocking her vision to get the signals from the coach. So she called timeout, talked to the pitcher, and then went and took the weeds away. Small things make such a big difference. Those plants happen to be right in her line of vision, so she called timeout to take that out of the equation. She's really in control of this game. Pratt Chapman's present. She's alert, and when things seem to be challenging her, she responds. This is a good look for the Vipers to have this level of catching. Strike on the outside corner.
Wow. Nice pitch, 1-3.
At this level, you've got to have quality catching. If you don't have good pitching, you don't have a chance. If you don't have good catching, it can get ugly real fast. So that was a ball, but she hit the glove. Coach Klein is having her move the inside and outside corners of the plate. Pratt Chapman gave her the target and messed her over here. There's an outside target. Let's see where this pitch ends up. Ball. At this level, accuracy matters just as much, if not more, than speed. Can you hit your spots? That's the question. 2-1. Running first base. 3-1. You know, this is the same situation the Vipers face. Tom Sack was up with a runner on first, nobody out. Wasn't able to push her to second base. This is only 3 balls. This runner's going down to first base. You know she's looking for a walk. They're checking with the official score. It's only ball 3. Come on back, batter. You got to earn it. But these teams are facing identical situations, so let's see which one will respond the best. The Vipers weren't able to drop the bunt down and move that runner up to second base. So here we are with a 3-2 count. Runner on first. And this batter's job is to move this runner to second base. The bunt is no longer in play with 2 strikes. The crowd is cheering loudly on both sides. Ball 4, take your base. Runners at first and second. Coach Klein comes out to talk to his girls. He knows his players are tired. They're playing back-to-back games. He just wants to make sure they're focused and they understand the situation. They know the proper bunt defense. Because very likely they're going to try to get these runners moved up by any way they can. Because to have them at second and third with only 1 out would mean that a fly ball scores a runner or a ground ball scores a runner. And so I'm sure the Aggies coaches are telling their players the same thing. Hey, look, just get the runners to second and third. And in many ways, this is a big moment in this game.
What's she playing?
No, because I have to go that way and there's no scooter space that way. No, I'm going to go over that way.
All right. You got it.
Batter steps forward. She's going to do a little slap hit. It's just the same effectively as a bunt. Warns McAvoy the ball's coming to her. Rayco should be moving up in left field for a slap hitter. Etalote has been reminded that she's going to need to cover third. There's a lot of defensive mechanics that go behind a situation like this. She squares the bunt. And she went for it. That's 2 strikes. All of a sudden the situation changes. With 2 strikes, she can't bunt. She's going to have to put the ball in play to get on base. Or to move those runners ahead. Ball 1 low. Nice block by CPC. There have been several balls in the dirt, and while it may not seem like that big of a deal, every base matters at this point. So the fact that Camille is blocking those balls, she's got to be tired, but she's digging in and blocking those balls, keeping the runners where they are. That ball's high. 2-2.
You got 2-2?
There we are.
Ball 3. Both these teams are really fired up.
You got it, kid.
There's no love lost here today. Very competitive environment, folks. Full count. Strike 3, ringer up. Wow, what a big strikeout that was. Let's take a look at that again. Right on the outside corner of the plate to the lefty. She went across the plate to her, or from her, and she was rendered helpless by her scooting up in the box ready to slap hit. She left a little too soon and wasn't actually able to get to the pitch. Coach Klein has let his players know what he thinks about this cheering that the Aggies are doing. He's not too pleased with it. As I said before, it's a very competitive environment, and we'll see what happens. But these teams are going at it in more ways than one. Foul ball, strike 1. One thing is for sure, if either side does not meet the challenge, it's likely their pitchers can get overwhelmed by this environment. So they're trying to support their pitchers and cheer in kind. No balls, 1 strike. Sacrifice. Gets her at 1. Hilly comes off the base.
One more, baby. Let's go, Vipers!
So again, here's the situation. Exactly the same situation that was faced by the Vipers.
Let's go!
As Lauti came up and was able to move the runners to second and third on a bunt. They did the exact same thing. And now, like the Vipers with Mesker Irwin up with 2 outs and runners at second and third, here are the Aggies with 2 outs and runners at second and third, and they're down by 2. Can they deliver in the same fashion that Mesker Irwin did? Foul ball, strike 1. You've got Irwin, Coach Irwin and Coach Weaver positioning the outfield for the Vipers. Coach Klein is encouraging the pitcher and catcher and working the infield. They're working every angle they can. In fact, Weaver's pushing the bench players to get more involved. So here we are. Will the Vipers be able to escape and hold this lead? The ball that's put in play, fairly deep. Sophia Rayco slides over and makes the catch. Rayco makes the catch in left field, ending the rally
Let's get it 1-0.
and establishing a 6-4 lead for the Vipers.
See some pitches, Mario.
What an environment, folks. Beautiful day here in sunny Northern California. It's been raining all week, but it cleared up today. It's as if God said, let there be softball. And there was. And here's strength against strength. Just missed. Woo, the crowd is oohing and awing at that. These two are in for a serious battle. You see Weaver is right on that pitch. She's a little bit under it. Her hands, the bat head is dropping down a little bit as she swings through, and so that's why she fouls it off. She has a similar angle as Tanner sometimes. They'll undercut the ball. If she flattens that swing out just a little bit, it's see you later, alligator. Clearly she's locked into the timing. She had a triple earlier today, and their pitcher is coming right at her. Oh, she chases the high heat. Sometimes you'll see kids who, want to impress grandma or something, swing at the high cheese, but it's almost impossible to catch up to. Ball one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball 2. Count's now even. After jumping out ahead 0-2. Count is now even. All 3 are floated inside. Listen, when Weaver's locked in, she can hit anyone. And this pitcher has proven that she can strike anybody out. So this is a very fascinating matchup. Just missed again. Just missed. And there you see she's coming in. That's not a mistake, folks. That's just the screen to keep up with both the bat and the ball. It actually, it's moving that fast. But Weaver's right there on it. But that little underneath swing, she gets just underneath the ball, which causes her to pop it up for the second time in a row. Let's see if she can find it out. But she's right on it timing-wise. I also may look to see if there's a changeup here. If I'm the Aggies, I'm looking at that swing and I'm saying, you know what? Let's go at this another way. Oh, foul tip. Catcher hangs onto it. She goes down. What a battle. Great battle. Here comes Leah Bowers. Driven in a run. The 4th run of the day for the Vipers. Remember, after Weaver's triple, Bowers came up and flew out to right field and sacrificed herself for the team. Ball 1 high. What a game. There's a hard hit ball to shortstop. He boots it just a little. She picks it up and throws it. Bowers hustles down to first base and legs out an infield hit. You see that right fielder there to back her up. That shows you they're a well-coached team in the outfield. Bowers' speed gives her the hit. We also have a substitution. Coach Klein is using every player on the roster. He's really coaching this game. That's Alana Berger-Moody. She was not here yesterday, but she's back today. And with her speed and athleticism, she is likely to go first and third on the hit. Coach Klein lets the umpires know that she will re-enter. And there's a ball that gets past the catcher. Berger-Moody runs. Makes it to second base. She's up and running. The ball's passed. It's going to be close. Safe. Wow. Talk about an effective pinch runner. First pitch, Berger-Moody takes off on a wild pitch or a pass ball, and makes it to second. And on a ball that barely scooted past the second basewoman, she took off and slid just underneath the tag at third. That's very, very aggressive base running. Kudos to Alana for being ready right off the bench. Some kids, when their number is called, they don't have their helmets, they don't have whatever they need. They get out there, they're not ready to run, they're not stretched out. Berger-Moody obviously, clearly was ready to go, and her team is the better for it. So now here's Dale Healy with only 1 out and a runner on third base. Just like Aaliyah Bowers earlier in the game, a pop-up reasonably deep to the outfield brings in a run. Also, maybe even a ground ball, which to the right side especially, can bring in a run. Dell's job is clear. Let's see what happens. Foul ball. There you see Dell again with that angle coming down. It was like they're chopping wood a little bit. She and Weaver and Tanner, they're chopping wood. They've got to flatten it out, especially against this fast of a pitcher, and she swung right underneath it. That at bad angle, you have to almost be perfect. The flatter you are, the more chance you have to hit it. But who's to criticize Healy today? After her towering shot in this morning's game, she seems to be right on point. Runner on third base, one out. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two. And both sides, I mean, the benches are loud. The environment is tense. This ball, Bergamoudi does not come. Bergamoudi does not come. Now, this is a short backstop, so there isn't much room back there. In this situation, you need that run, and you can't afford to give it away. Although they've been pretty aggressive on the base pass, but they chose not to come down. Here's Dell. And they wind up in the pitch. Foul ball. Just foul. It's a little out in front of that pitch. Oh, just outside. I'm not sure where that missed. And I'm not sure that you can afford to take those kinds of pitches, those types of pitches with two strikes. The Vipers smell blood. They know a base hit here can really put them in good standing. Strike three, swing and a miss. Woo. 2 outs. Here comes Camille. Coach Klein takes out his note card and makes a change. Brings in Annabelle Castronovo to hit for CPC. She can re-enter. But this move is designed largely to get that run in. Annabelle's got a little shorter, more compact swing. And with this pitcher's swing speed, a more looping, casting swing is you're not going to be able to catch up to it. So this was a strategic move, knowing his players and knowing the pitcher and trying to give his team the best chance to score. She swings at the first pitch. There's a little dribbler to the right side. The pitcher picks it up and throws it to first base, and the inning is over. The chess match continues. The Vipers are still up 6-5. And folks, this is the last half of an inning for this game. The umpire has let both teams know, hey, listen, we're at the time limit now. So this is it. One way or the other, we're going to get a winner. We may just find out here. There's Mesker Irwin walking to the mound confidently. Etaluti, knowing the situation, gives her a hug and says, you got this, champ. She's even cleaning out the mound for her. That's teamwork right there. She knows how big this situation is in an elimination game. She's cleaning it off. What do you need? I'll do whatever you need me to do. I got you. Here's Amara McAvoy saying, hey, you got this. You got this. It's a big situation. In an elimination game, it's been hard fought all the way. We're up 6-4. We just got to hold this lead. You can do it. Mesker Irwin warms up with Leah Bell, while Camille, who was recently batting, is getting on her gear. Here comes Pratt Chapman now. The tension is so thick, you can cut it with a knife. Up steps number 8, one of their 2 top hitters. 8 and 11 have driven the offense for these Aggies all weekend long. Wouldn't you know it, they're the top 2 hitters this inning. So they're going to have to figure it out and get past these 2. Strike one. It's ironic that they're at the top of the order with the game on the line. Score 6-4. Vipers up. 1-1. It's interesting as the Aggies are continuing their cheers and their attempt to intimidate and their attempt to influence the pitcher. The Vipers, the 4 or 5 Vipers bench players, seem to be matching them, leveling out the intensity, which is a huge bonus. Ball outside. It's a huge lift to the pitcher. The competitiveness of these girls is really growing as they get older. There's a ball hit the shortstop. Etta picks it up, throws it. Got her at first base by a half a step. Wow, what a play by Lauti. She got it and quickly released it. They're high-fiving each other. Listen, they can taste it. They just got out one of the best hitters in this tournament. Now there's one out, and up steps number 11. Small but mighty. She is their home run hitter. They're trying to keep her in the park. First pitch swing, so you know exactly what she is intending to do. Some kids get up there in these situations with looking pitches and they try to be too cute, too fine, or whatever. But number 11 is a baller. She's a player. She gets up there, she's locked in, she did her work on deck, and she's ready to compete. They wind up the pitch, 1-0. Oh, and there's a drive to deep center field. Tanner races over, she scoops it up, throws it cleanly to second base. You've got a win-win. The Aggies are happy that they got their base runner on. The tying run steps to the plate. The Vipers are happy that they kept her in the park and that there was a clean play in the outfield to get that ball in. The outfield has been their Achilles heel in the fall, and so in the spring they're really looking to find some folks who can be competitive out there consistently and get the ball where it's supposed to be and make the outs that are supposed to be made. So here we are with only one out, runner on first base. Strike one. Camille picks it up now. Listen, this goes back to earlier in the game, second inning, when Camille dropped the ball, and then as the runner took off, she quickly picked it up and threw her out by a country mile. I guess coaches remember that. This is not the time to get a runner thrown out. With the game on the line in the last inning, every base runner counts. There's a ball hit to Georgia. She picks it up. I don't know if she caught it or not. She throws to second base and throws it back to first base. I have no idea. And I don't think the umpires do either. Oh, they've made the call. So the out was made at second base. He's not giving credit for the catch. And the runner is safe at first. Regardless, there's 2 down. The Vipers are 1 out away from moving on to the championship game. And like clockwork, there's another play, wrapped to center field. She gets it up, so she picks it in. They've got 2 runners on. Tying runner on first. Winning run at the plate with 2 outs. Coach Klein is positioning his outfield. He tells Margaret he wants her to scoot more towards center field. There's a ball on the first pitch. Hit to the left side. Edelauti boots it. She boots it. I'm not sure she could have made an out. Maybe at third base she could have had a play. But she booted the ball, and because of that, the runner's safe. The reality is, it's not the end of the world. They haven't scored. The bases are loaded. There are 2 outs. It's the last inning.
Everywhere, ladies.
The runner at third just doesn't matter. Even if she scores, they're still up 6-5. But it's 6-4 now. The runner that they have to be worried about is standing at second base. She represents a tying run.
Going the easy play.
The winning run is at first base. Oh, great block by Camille. She is just owning that catcher's position today. That ball gets past her. That's a run. And the runners all move up 60 feet.
Here we go.
Stride on the swing. Foul ball, strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Coach Klein is telling the defenders just tag a base, any base. Ball 2. For goodness sake, he says, just tag a base. Let's get out of this. Aggies are crowding the plate. They're looking for anything they can turn on and drive a base hit. Very likely ties this game up. Another ball. Umpire cleans the plate off a little bit. Actually, he's marking the inside corner as the Aggies are crowding that plate. He's saying, look, don't get too close to that plate. And Klein is talking to the umpires, letting them know, hey, where is that batter's box? Are they stepping on the plate? And he marks it again. There's the wind up in the pitch. Ball 4. Walks in a run. I think the Vipers are getting close to running on empty. They're still up 6-5. There's 2 outs.
Put her down.
Hit wins the game with a runner from second base scoring.
You got this, Maria.
The Vipers need an out. The Aggies need a hit. It's that simple. Ball 1, a little bit high. Strike 1.
Come on, kid, let it rip. Julia. Get a shoot back on the ball field. There we go. Nice pitch, kid. That's not a pitch.
Foul ball.
Come on.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded. 6-5 game. Winner advances, loser goes home. All right. Ball 3. I'm sorry, ball 2. 2-2. Folks, it doesn't get any tighter than this. Struck her out. Strike 3. Game is over. Klein comes out to congratulate his kids. The Vipers are hyped. What a game. What a game. Coach Klein prides himself on running a class operation. He says, hey, listen, shake their hands with class. You see the team acknowledging the competitors. That's the beauty of this game. What a game. This is the Vipers' first tournament in 14U. The coaches are talking to each other here. This is the Vipers' first tournament. And they're a B team, 14B, and they're playing a 14A team. But it didn't matter today. They gave them all they wanted, and then some. As the Vipers eliminate the Watsonville Aggies by a score of 6-5. What a game. Great pitching, great catching, timely hitting, and a big shot by Weaver. We had a huge hit by Metzger-Irwin. Timely defense. How about Ray Coach being ahead in the game? Struggled a little bit on the mound, but made the big catch in left field and got a big hit. Pushed those runners over in the scoring position. Every player on the team was used. Every player got into action. Either they pinch run or they hit. An all-around team effort by the Vipers against a very, very game team that beat them yesterday. The growth of this team is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. It'll be interesting to see how they do in the championship game versus the California Crossfire. Those are two Oakland-based teams, so we'll see how that pans out. From Palo Alto, go Vipers.